I'm Zach Wilkins, a gender-fluid pansexual filmmaker. I came out as bisexual when I was 14 and then bounced between identities for 6 years as I struggled to find a label that I felt appropriately described me. I'd been aware I wasn't straight for years and hoped sex ed might help clear up some of my confusion. Instead, I was taught about heterosexual sex, heterosexual relationships and heterosexual health risks, with no mention of sexuality or gender identity, leading to several years of self-loathing and confusion. It wasn't until I was 20 that I truly felt comfortable and confident in my identity, but I'd always hoped my school could have given me the information that I needed to make that realisation sooner. I went to go meet Tommy and Holly, two friends who found their sexualities brought them closer together. I wanted to ask them how they thought people perceived bisexuals and what it was like for them to come out whilst at school.
My name is Tommy Lewis, I'm 16 and I'm bisexual.
My name is Holly Marks, I'm 18 years old and I'm female and I identify as bisexual.
When did you first get those thoughts that maybe you're not straight?
One of my friends came out as gay and we were all like, oh, that's amazing, and we all kind of started to slowly think, oh, well, what if I'm not straight, which actually a lot of us turned out not to be, and we just kind of all found out, I guess.
So it was very much pioneered to an extent by your one friend?
To some extent, yeah. She came out and then that was kind of when we all started to think maybe we hadn't really thought about it before she came out, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, I definitely, when I first started secondary school, I didn't feel as though I was completely straight because I would look at like men and stuff in like on TV and be like, oh, okay, that's a weird feeling, like what's going on. And then as I got older I was like, okay, I still like girls but I have the same feeling towards boys, and it was very confusing until I met my group of friends that like I'm still friends with all of them now, and then they were all very open and they all started coming out, and I was like, okay, so it is a thing, they are bisexual, like they feel the same as me, so that must be what I am, and yeah, it just went from there.
Was there much talk on LGBT relationships, any mention at all of homosexuality, bisexuality?
Not that I can remember.
Not until like late year 10, but that's because there was more awareness around that time, so, and my schools was just like big on diversity and all this, so they like brought in a bunch of assemblies and just about gay people and relationships in that sense, but before that it was just non-existent.
Was bullying a big problem at your school? Maybe not personally, but when in matters of LGBT discussion?
Between me and my friends and all the girls that were in my year, it was all really positive. A lot of my friends actually were identified as gay or bisexual, so we were all really open about it towards each other. My teachers never mentioned it or anything like that. There were rumours of a couple of my teachers being gay or bi, and everyone was really accepting about that, so nobody really minded.
When I first started secondary school, it was because like the old head teacher was just like really bad and didn't really care. But then when the new head teacher came in, brought this whole new diversity thing in and actually wanted to educate the children about these different matters, then it wasn't as bad, but it's just silly things like the bad people in the class, they'd be like, oh, that's gay, and or that they just use that kind of terminology, which if you're like sitting there and you're hearing these people going like, oh, that teacher's gay, and like, oh, that whatever is gay, and you're sitting there like, oh, but I'm gay, and well, I think I'm gay. So if they use that in a bad way, does that mean it's bad to be gay? And it's just all very confusing.
The erasure of LGBT people in sex ed can be seriously damaging to young people struggling to identify. 2 in 5 have attempted or thought about taking their own life directly because of bullying, and the same number say that they deliberately self-harm directly because of bullying. I also spoke to Daryl and Debbie, Tommy's parents. I wanted to know their opinions on their son's coming out, and I wanted to ask them what they thought sex ed should be teaching their children.
Debbie Lewis. I'm 49 years old and I'm a housewife.
I'm Daryl. I'm 49 and by profession I work in Tesco's as a night manager. By trade I'm a qualified decorator and have been since I was 18.
How would you feel if one of your children came home from sex ed or school and asked you questions about sexuality and gender? Would you feel comfortable and able to answer those?
I would personally, but I think that again, that's down to your own personal attitudes towards it. I know that I've got friends that would feel totally uncomfortable about speaking about that kind of stuff to their children. Mine have actually accused me of being too open with that kind of stuff. You know, you don't feel too comfortable about it, do you?
No, I was alright when Tommy, my lad, come out.
Yeah,
I was
true.
more. I never thought it would be Tommy, but it didn't bother me. I wasn't shocked, put it that way.
I think I was the one that surprised them.
Yeah.
Because I think that they thought that I would take it totally the opposite way, the way I did take it. You know, but my attitude is at the end of the day, I'm not going to alienate one of my own children because of their sexuality. You know, bottom line is my attitude always has been, look, as long as you're happy, as long as you're safe, I don't care.
How do you feel about the idea of coming out becoming kind of a cool thing, a fashion statement?
See, I don't understand that one. Why would it be coming out be a statement or a fashion?
Because it's become.
No,
fashionable.
alright. Put it in my terms. It's easier for the children to come out now. That's whereas in our time, when we was at school, I never knew anyone.
Yeah, true. But
I've got a cousin and my nephew. That's it.
Yeah, but if you look
But
at the
there's
difference between, but that's what I'm trying to say. If you look at the difference between when Michael came out, who's a nephew, and
But
now,
he was like in primary though.
yeah, but he didn't come out, Deb, and he went about it. To me, he went about it the wrong way, and that's what I'm saying.
Because there was nothing like that at
Yeah,
school.
he came out and then went completely comical camp, which was like getting on everybody's nerves. You know what I mean? It was almost like he was trying to make a statement saying, "Look at me, I'm gay." You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he had no one.
Right. But what I'm
But
trying
as
to
a
get at is
statement,
that's,
no,
to me, that's.
I think it's easier for the kids to come out.
Yeah.
I don't class it as a
But
statement.
saying that, I still think that there is still a lot of stigma attached to it especially with our generation. As I said, look, I only know from my own experiences, and that's the bottom line is, I know that my son was dreading telling me, right, based on conversations and comments and everything else over the years. I know that they would, that any of mine would absolutely probably cack themselves about having to tell me, right, rather than tell Debbie. Yeah. I'm just glad that mine did have the front to tell me, rather than me find out from someone else or something else.
Because it is a different generation.
And at the end
We
of the
accept
day,
it more.
yeah.
We wouldn't have come out to our own parents.
No. Oh no. Easier being an alcoholic or a junkie. I'm being serious. It was. You know what I mean? Yes, mum, I'm an alcoholic. Yes, mum, I take heroin, but do not come out and say I'm gay. Right?
Why do you think that was?
Again, it's just progressive
It wasn't out there.
attitudes. It wasn't out there. It was always, and don't forget, it was illegal right up to the 1960s. Right? So we're 60s children. We were born in the 60s. Right? So even so if you look at our parents, it was an illegal act. It was against the law to be homosexual. Right? So their attitudes were a hell of a lot different to ours. It became, I wouldn't say acceptable, I'd say it became...
That's what I'm saying.
It became more talked about and more open as we were growing up, but even nowhere near to the extent it is now.
No.
And that's why I'm saying about you need to look at the generational differences. You know, I mean, to our children, that generation, your generation, it's as normal as being normal, if that makes sense.
There's no fear. They haven't got to worry.
There is no. It is normal. there is no such thing as abnormal anymore. You can, and I think that's better. I honestly do. I think that.
I'm pleased that he can come up and say it to us.
The government has recently announced a new sex ed curriculum, renamed Relationship and Sex Education. The new guidelines aim to encourage diversity and discussions on sexuality. Also, with an abundant growth of celebrities recently coming out as bisexual, young bi people are getting relatable role models to look up to. I, personally, have high hopes that with better education and increased representation, bisexuals and all members of the LGBT+ community will see a boom in acceptance and equality for years to come.